All right, low profile power supply shootout. That's what we're doing today. We have the Chalks DC7 versus the True Tone One Spot Pro CS6. Which one will win? Which one do you need to get? Specifically for the HX Stomp, because that's what I care about and that's what we're gonna be talking about. Plus some other pedals. Will it power everything we need it to power? Which one will come out on top? Which one do you need? I've said enough, let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If we've never met, my name is Jimmy and I created this channel, Hey Worship Leader, to be a resource for you. We talk about how to pastor your people, how to lead your team, and we also talk about gear, all things worship leader related. And today we are looking at these two power supplies. Now you guys know I'm a fan of the HX Stomp. I think it's an amazing piece of gear. I talk a lot about it. And the crazy little thing about this pedal is its power requirements, its needs, its high maintenance. You know, it's not just normal. And one of the things that we have to know about this is that it draws a lot more power than our normal standard pedals, and the cable is a different size. Normally we have a 2.1 millimeter barrel, and this takes a 2.5 millimeter barrel. And I've made videos about this before, telling you about the power supply that I use, which is the Chalks DC7, and the cables that I have, and it's a great solution. But there's another power supply that is contending for my attention, and so it should yours as well. Like you saw in the intro, the One Spot Pro CS6 low profile power supply. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down and kind of score these, put them head to head, and see which one is best for you. I have some very excited stuff coming in the near future, so if you're not subscribed, please do that now so you won't miss out. I got some giveaways coming up. It's almost 2 years on YouTube, and so I'm celebrating by giving away a few pedals. So you're gonna want to know about that. So subscribe to the channel. If you like this kind of content, let me know. Drop a comment down below and say, hey, I like this kind of content. I want more of it. It's helpful, Jimmy. Thank you. Also hit the like button. That always helps. All right, let's jump in. First category, price. We want to know, how are our wallets going to be affected? That's the most important thing. If you're anything like me, before I know any other details, I want to know, what is this going to cost me? First up is the Chalks DC7. The price comes in at $229. That is not cheap, folks. That is expensive, especially when you compare it to the counterpart coming in at $129. $100 cheaper. You might be like, Jimmy, that's all I need to know. I need to save $100 and put it towards another pedal. Go ahead. But there's some other things you need to consider, like the size. Now, both of these are low profile, but they are not the same size. As far as the width, they are pretty much exactly the same size. As far as the length, they are pretty much exactly the same size. But the thickness is where they are different. And this might be an issue for you. I don't know if you can see that, but the CS6 is quite thicker. I would say 3/16 thicker, almost a 1/4 inch thicker. Considerably thicker when you're talking about low profile power supplies. Does it matter? Does your pedal board need low profile? Well, if you're like me, it is very important, because I have the Mono Light Plus. The number one reason I got the Chalks DC7 back in the day, 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago for real? I don't know. The reason I went that way is because it's only 1 inch tall. It fits perfectly underneath this board. Even it's definitely less than the rubber feet on this board, but it's even less than, or it's like almost exactly the thickness of this board here. This fits under the pedal train board. So if you got a pedal train board, which is also cheaper than the mono board, I'll say that. So if you're into saving money, get a pedal train, and this fits under the pedal train. So is that a win for the Chalks DC7? If you have a mono board, yes. If you don't, then I think it'll fit under pretty much any other board. Having said that, will this fit under this board? And I think it might. It's definitely thicker than the board itself, but with these rubber feet, it comes in like really close. My only thing is that if you were to put any kind of dual lock or Velcro, it might be too thick and hang down below, but you don't have to do that. Much like the DC7, it comes with these screws where you can just mount it directly to the board. And so if it's directly on the board and you don't have to worry about dual lock or Velcro, then I think it could fit under this board. So this wins. Again, wow, this is not how I thought it was gonna turn out. All right, our third category is connections and cables. So they both come with a slew of different options in the box. The one huge plus for the CS6 is that it has everything you need to power the HX Stomp in the box, whereas the Chalks doesn't. The only downside that I would see is that you have to have 3 different cables to get power from the Stomp to the power supply itself, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. In case you are wondering, you need a 2.5 barrel, which is larger than your standard 2.1. The green is 2.5, the red is 2.1. Let's look at it close. Can you see it? This one's bigger. This goes into the HX Stomp, just like that. But then we also have to invert the polarity. So we have to use the red one. And once we've done that, we kind of look like a Christmas tree. We got red and green. Now we got to be able to plug it into the power supply, which needs this final cable, the gray one that plugs into that adapter. And now this can plug into the power supply. So 3 cables, kind of clunky. I don't like multiple junctions like that, but the plus is that it all comes in the box. It's in the box already. No further shopping. You're doing a lot better than I thought you were going to. You guys may know if you've seen some other videos of mine that I am a big fan of the Logston audio cable. It is 2.5 on this side, and it splits either into 2 RCA cables or 2 the regular standard barrels, so that you can, it's made specifically for the HX Stomp to a power supply. And I've gotten that, it's all in one cable. You don't have to have 3 cables, it's just 1 cable. But the plus of that is not a plus for the DC7, because you could also get that cable for the one spot. Which brings up the next topic. It splits it into 2 because the Chalks DC7 can do 660 milliamps per output. But the HX Stomp, when it powers up, it's somewhere like a little less than 900. I usually just say 900 milliamps. Well, that's why you have to have a current doubler, which is what that cable is from Logston Audio. You can find all these links down below. Anyways, the cool thing about the CS6 is that it has what is called power switching, which means that yes, it has 500 milliamp output here, 500 here, 200, 200, and 100, 100, but it'll take all the power out of just one of these ports if needed. So you don't actually have to power the HX Stomp with 2 of your ports. So the advantage of this one having 7 ports, DC7, I forgot to say that, it's got 4 on this side, 3 on that side, and this one only having 6, 4 on this side, 2 on this side, you actually save one, because I have to use 2 of my ports for the HX Stomp on this, and I would only have to use 1 here, so it's exactly the same. Still winning. And I already mentioned this, but just so you remember, the DC7 takes RCA cable inputs on the side, which is just different. It's kind of unique, and this just takes the traditional like regular barrel like we talked about earlier. So keep that in mind. Now the next category, how much power can it power? The One Spot Pro can power 1600 milliamps. So if you add up 500, 500, 200, 200, 100, 100, 1600 milliamps. And I guess you could just pull 1600 milliamps out of one of the outputs, out of one of the ports. That's pretty cool. But it can't exceed 1600, or we're actually going to test it here in a second to see how it acts. This one says that it can pull 660 at 9 volts out of each port all at the same time. So that, I added that up, that's like 4620 milliamps. So 1600 milliamps versus 4600 milliamps, or 48 watts. I mean, I don't know. This stuff's confusing. Watts, milliamps, volt. I need to take a course or something. But it seems like there's a lot more power on tap, plus little features that I just wanted to mention. This one will also like charge your phone, and they also have extensions. You can do like the DC8 and have 8 more ports right alongside this. It's made to just connect out of here to the next one, or the DC4. Like if you're expanding your board, they're like modular. You can connect them end to end, which is pretty cool. They both have dip switches on them in case you want to go from like 9 to 12 or 9 to 18 volts on these. The DC7 has a little bit more flexibility here. You have like 4 different positions you can put them in at the different volts. Another little honorable mention for the DC7, I don't know if this is worth $100 more, but it comes with like little rubber feet on the bottom, which I love, because sometimes when I have an extra one, I just want to put it on my table and it not slide around. This one didn't come with it, but that's a very small thing. All right, so what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Which one would you get? Would you save money and get the DC7? Have a lot more power on tap, but do you actually need it if the other one works? I don't know. I know what the Chalks DC7 can do. I have powered a lot of things with it, but I haven't had this in my hands till today. And so let's see what we can power with it. I'm gonna start by powering the Stomp, and then we have some of these new X effects pedals that I'm gonna be giving away, which is gonna all be powered by this. That's why I got this. Yeah, let's see if it can power it. Now, this takes 900 milliamps. We know that. This here is the Solid Studio. It says on the back it takes 500 milliamps. So we're up to 1400, and this can do 1600 is what it says. Then we have the new one that I just got. Be on the lookout for a review of this very soon, if not already. I haven't done it yet, but I don't know which order these videos are going out yet. It says 40 milliamps, so this is super small. Not a lot of strain, so we'll add this too. And then I have the Atlantic delay and reverb, and I also have another delay, but they both pull 300 milliamps, so I was just gonna try it. They should be the same. Let's just see what happens if we max it out. All right, let's do this. So just like I said earlier, we got the green into the red, into the white. Let's power this thing. We need to come out one of the 500, which is right here. Put the green into the HX Stomp. You know what would be helpful is if I plug that in. Now we have a blue light. There we go. So we have the green, goes into the HX Stomp. Let's see if it powers it. It's coming on. Powers it up, no problem. Now I'm gonna monitor this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add these one at a time and see if we get any additional noise. Let's check it out. I'm gonna start with this Solid Studio. Let's plug it in here. Power it via the other 500 milliamp block because this one takes 500. Cab. Amp. Let's add some stuff to this preset. Boom. I don't hear any noise. You can bump the drive all the way up. I like it. There's a bassy. Okay, that works. Passed the test. Let's add signal to the next one. We have the Atlantic, and that adds, what was it again? 300 milliamps. So now here's the problem. We have a 500 and a 300, so we're gonna be breaking some rules here because these only have 200 milliamp inputs. So let's just see what happens. Let's see if we have any more noise. That's pretty quiet. I have it turned all the way up. Wow. So we're at 900, 500, and 300, 1700. Now I know those can be like the peak or the max, so I think it'll be fine going over that. And some of you may know way more about this than I do, but I just want to see how many pedals this would power and still stay silent. Turn off the other effects. This is the reverb on the Atlantic. It gets the job done, but it's definitely not my favorite. See how ambient it can get. Again, not a pedal demo, but it still sounds clean. I don't hear any fuzzing, nothing. Let's go one more. This one's real low, so I'll put this in the 100. Still pretty quiet. Just the boost. I mean, that's quiet. I don't hear anything. It's powering, what did I say, plus 40. 1740 right now. I'm gonna do a demo on this, but I don't wanna ruin the surprise, but this is what it sounds like. And all that is just run straight into the front of the Stomp. I don't have any of the other effects on. I kind of want to add one more. I wasn't planning on it, but I have one more pedal. You want to do it? Should we do it? Are we going to break something? Some of you are probably like cringing saying don't do it, but I don't hear any noise. Nothing. Let's add another pedal. What should we add? The new XFX Duo Time, or maybe one of the jet pedals? I'm guessing this has way more milliamps. How many more inputs do we have? We have potential for 2 more pedals. Let's do another overdrive. All right, I found a 2-in-1 adapter, so we'll see if we have any noise. Sounds pretty quiet still. Let's take these effects off. Let's turn the Lion on. Oh, we are lacking something now. I think we hit, when I turn that delay on, we hit our max.